Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is a skincare, makeup and hair care range specifically designed for older faces. Today I want to show you a makeup look for somebody a bit like myself with warmer blonde hair. So I am really probably a very mousy blonde. My hair is definitely artificially helped. I've got some grey coming through, but it's still very patchy at this moment. So at the moment I'm having some highlights and my natural undertones are warm. So I wanted just to show you a simple makeup look that will work with hair colouring that is similar to mine. So sort of blonde, but with some warmth in it. So I'm going to focus also particularly today on eye makeup as well that will work with this particular look. So what have I done already? I have prepared my skin. So this morning I cleansed my skin with my perfectly clean daily cleanser. And then I used, as I always do, my SPF plus 50 daily serum to protect my skin. Then I used the moisturiser, so I used my Hydration Hold Serum, and just a little bit of that, and a little bit of Smooth the Face Day Cream. And then I let that settle, so I waited before doing my foundation. So what I've already done makeup-wise today is I have put on some Smooth Like Silk Face Prime all over, and then I have done a mixture of Continuous Cover Foundation in shade 2 with just a little bit of Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 1 mixed with a tiny bit more of my face primer. So I mixed them all together, and then what I did is I used my foundation brush number 10 just to blend that in. And I have used some concealer, which I needed this morning. I was a little bit tired looking after not sleeping very well last night. So I used my Cover to Cover concealer in shade 2, which I have used just around the eye area. And I've covered up a few little imperfections and some sunspots that I've got. And then I've used a little bit of the powder just to set that. So that's my translucent powder. So that's what I've done. I've got a sort of a base on which to then start to apply some colour to my face, because often if you are blonde in colouring, there's not a massive amount of colour change between your hair and your face. I mean, I always wanted to have really lovely dark hair. You never get what you want, do you? You always want what everyone else has got, because I thought that was lovely because there's always a contrast then between sort of skin and hair. So often when you're blonde, like I look very sort of one-dimensional before I start to put any colour on my face. So let's get started trying to liven me up a little bit with eye makeup and colour on my cheeks and my lips. Right, so the first product, I'm going to start working on my eyes. The first product that I'm going to use, I've done nothing at all on my eyelids other than made sure that they are completely clean, dry and oil free, so that I removed any traces of my eye makeup remover that I used last night to remove my eye makeup. Because the first product I'm going to use is this beautiful product called Smooth Out Eye Prime. So there's only one shade. You only need a tiny amount, about this much, and I'm just going to pop this all over my eyelids. My eyelids have got little fine veins on them. As we get older, our eyelids are not as smooth and are not as perfectly coloured as they were. You get sort of little imperfections because they're so thin, and so you see all the little veins coming through. You also get a few little lines and wrinkles, which is quite normal. And what this product does is to even out this area so that it's just a lovely, perfect, neutral shade before you start applying your eyeshadow. But it also stops your eyeshadow from creasing. through the oils that we produce as the day goes on. If I don't use this, my eyeshadow definitely creases in the lines that I've got on my eyes, whereas when I put this on, it just doesn't. It just keeps it in place. It makes it smooth, as it says on the tube. Smooth out eye prime. The secret to the product though is not to use too much, and as I said earlier, make sure that your eyelids are dry and oil free before you put it on. So I'm putting it on and then I just blend it with my concealer brush number 4. And then I put clean finger, obviously, just to add a little bit more. So I bring it up to probably where I'm going to be putting my eyeshadow on, so just above my socket line area. So brilliant product, smooth out eye prime. So I'm wearing green today. Although I've got blue eyes, I've got some little green specks in my eyes, and because I've got some warmth in my hair, I've decided to go today with one of our lovely trios, which is called the Soft Green Trio, which is this one. And this can work really well on warm blondes. I could have used the soft, the warm brown trio, which I often do use, and also the soft neutrals would look really good. But today I thought we'll go for a little bit of a soft green look. And so the first product I'm going to use on all over my eye, the base colour, is the top one. So this is called Soft Olive. So it's just a light, soft green. And I'm going to apply that with my brush number 7. So this is a really lovely eyeshadow brush. I'm going to pop that all over. These trio eyeshadows are so good because you've got all 3 colours together that can create a look, and they're matte. And as we get older, as you do get more lines around your eyes, you don't want too much shimmer. So it works really well on older eyes. Very forgiving colours. They don't come out scarily dark, and you can just build up the colour if you want. And it's worth putting enough of that base colour on so that when you put your next colour on, you've got something for it to adhere to. If you've never used a brush to apply eyeshadow, if you've only ever used a sponge, then it's a game changer using a really nice brush. The tools of your trade will make a massive difference to the overall professional look of your eye makeup. So you can see it's a very subtle green. It's not a sort of bright or too dark or overpowering. I don't want to go, if you're blonde, again, you don't necessarily want to be overpowered by your eye makeup unless you want that look. The fun thing about eye makeup is you can experiment with different colours. We're not tattooing, it can come off. Use it as a bit of fun and experimentation. The second colour that I'm going to use is called Fern. So that's the middle colour in the trio. It's a little bit stronger than the Soft Olive, but it's in the same family. It's a warm green. So I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush to apply this. I'm going to use my brush number 9, which is still as an eyeshadow brush, but it's just a little bit firmer and a bit smaller. So I am going to then apply this just above the socket line, just to give me a little bit more colour here. And if you are a cool blonde, you've got much more sort of coolness in your undertones, you might not know what I'm talking about, cool, warm, in which case go on to the Look Fabulous Forever website and do the colour quiz, because that's really helpful in sort of helping you decide whether you are warmer or cooler, or maybe neutral, you might be in between. So, but if you are cooler, then you can do the same effect as a blonde using the greys or the soft purple trio, or the cool blues even. So just using the 3 colours in the trios. So you can see I'm just bringing it so that when my eye is open, you can still see a little bit of colour, which will just help to lift my eye because it's creating a slightly darker false socket line, which will just help with when everything starts to droop, as it does. So now I'm going back with my first brush and I'm just going to blend that out to in gently, little short strokes. I am going to use the third colour, the darker one of the trio, in a minute, in 2 places. But the first thing I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to give myself a little bit of eyeliner. And I am going to use Forest Green. Why not? Let's stick to the green theme today. So this is our soft eyeliner in Forest Green. I'm going to put that on the top, but I'm going to use a slightly softer colour on the bottom. This is quite a dark colour, but I like that on my top lashes because I feel then that it makes my lashes look a bit thicker. So again, out to in, just little strokes, soft feathery strokes. And because I've used my Smooth Out Eye Prime first, that will also help to sort of set this in place and stop everything from moving. And it gives a nice smooth base to put it on, because as we get older, this area becomes a little bit less smooth than it used to be. So because they're so soft, they are so easy to use. So I go to the last lash and just basically bring it up a little bit to lift. This side, I have to kind of pull my eye into my nose to make it smooth because I can't open this eye. Sorry, I can't close it. Naturally, so little short strokes. I love the fact that the eyeliners are soft because if you've got a hard pencil, it's quite scratchy and it's just not very forgiving, not nice on an older eye or on any eyes really. So as I said, I'm not going to use the green on the bottom. I'm going to use a different colour. I could use the green on the bottom, but I want to use, because I want to use a slightly softer look, warm taupe, which I often use underneath, which will give me a little bit of colour, a little bit of definition, but it's just a bit softer. So I'm going out to in. Slightly wider and just disappearing. So I've got that little bit of definition, but it's not quite as dark. Now what I'm going to do is to set these using an eyeshadow. So I'm going back to my trios and I'm going to take the dark one, which is called Forest, which is a really lovely green. And I'm going to take wedge brush number 8. Take a little bit of the dark green just onto my brush like this. Take off the excess on my hand, and then I'm just going to go over the eyeliner. And this does two things. It will soften the whole look and it will set the eyeliner even more so it won't move, it won't budge throughout the day because you've set it with a powder. It just happens to be a coloured powder. I quite like that slightly soft look on an older eye with eyeliner rather than too precise. And it's a lot easier as well. If you haven't got great eyesight, you need, first of all, invest in a magnifying mirror. I couldn't be without my magnifying mirror. Times 10 for my eyes now. I don't know what I'd look like if I went out of the door without that. I think I would look all right, but I might not. And then doing this means if you haven't quite got that perfect line with your eyeliner, it doesn't really matter too much because you're going over it and sort of softening it and sort of smudging it anyway. So just try and push the colour into the base of your lashes using this brush. And you can see it just means your lashes look a bit thicker. So now what I'm going to do is go over the bottom. I'm not going to use the dark one, I'm going to use the middle one. So I'm going to use the Fern. So let's just wipe off the dark one using a tissue. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the middle colour over the warm taupe, just so it looks as though it's got a hint of green in it. And now I'm going to do one more thing. I just want that little bit more definition on my outer corners. So I'm going to go back in with this brush and the Forest, which is the darkest one, and just put a little bit extra just on those, on that outer sort of V where I put the middle colour. So I've now got my sort of template of where I want it, rather than going straight in with the dark one, but just adding that little bit more definition can be effective. You don't have to do this. You can stick with just using the dark one as an eyeliner, but I just wanted to show you this effect as well. And then I'm going to blend it really well. I do like this forest green on a blonde. Works very well on brown hair as well and brown eyes, but if you've got a bit of natural warmth, it's a really pretty combination, the green, the three greens. And it used to be a colour that I was a bit frightened of using on myself with blue eyes, but because I've got sort of little kind of greeny specks in them, when I wear green, a warm green in my clothes, it actually works really well. So don't be frightened of a green if you've never tried it. A bit of fun. So I need to do something to my eyelashes now. I usually use black mascara, but today I'm going to use brown. If you've got sort of warm blonde hair and it's lighter and your whole look is lighter, sometimes brown is a little bit more forgiving than black. So I'm going to curl them first with my eyelash curlers. And then I'm going to show you the brown because it's a really nice colour. So Lithe Lash Mascara in brown. If you've got very fair lashes and your whole look is quite light, then you might prefer brown to black, or you might want to do black in the evening and brown in the day. You could do that. You could put your brown on in the day, and then when you go out in the evening, you could just go over it with a coat of black rather than removing it all and starting again. You don't need to. You can just go over. That's the beauty of this mascara. You can just build it up. And it's clump free, filament free. Really nice on older lashes, which sometimes get a little bit more brittle and a little bit more sparse. Right, I'm going to use some Bring Back Brow, but before doing that, I'm going to use a little bit of a very special product, Instant Bright Highlight. And I'm going to use this in a few places. A little bit just underneath my brow. A little clicky pen, and it just gives that little bit of highlight. Really nice on an older face. A little bit on my cheek, top of my cheekbone. A little bit on my Cupid's bow. And a little bit in my frown lines, just to soften those, because light colours bring forward. So you're just sort of softening that area. And now I'm going to do my brows. Now, often if you've got blonde hair, your brows might be a sort of blondish colour, or they might have disappeared completely. They might have gone a bit grey, gone white. Mine are still sort of like a mousy blonde with little patches. And I am today going to use Bring Back Brow Shape in blonde. A video for blondes, why not? I do sometimes use the brown one, but today I am going to use the one that's blonde in colour. I was very excited when this came out. So the first thing I'm going to do is to use my spoolie brush, number 6, just to groom my brows a little bit into place. And then I'm going to shake the product. It's a little ball bearing in it, so important to shake it. Hold it upright because it is a paint. And I'm just going to fill in the gaps with little soft feathery strokes. And this is a waterproof product, so really good. Really good for areas that you've maybe lost your brows completely, or they've just gone a little bit sort of sparse. You can see that's just filling in. So we've got lots of videos on Bring Back Brow and how to use it, how to do brows. But all right, now I'm just going to go back with my spoolie brush and just soften that area that I've just done. So I've got a sort of fairly soft look on my eyes in the greens. What I'm going to do now is create a little bit of colour on the rest of my face. And I'm going to use my big powder brush and just add a little bit of bronzer. I've already put some powder on, but I just want to give myself a sweep. Let's take this out now. Just a sweep of colour. In a sort of 3 shape. And on my neck. It's looking a bit pale. My temple area. So I am using Enduring Summer Bronze, this one. I love it. It comes out very gently. It's not as scary as it looks, but instantly my face is a bit more awake. As I said earlier, as a blonde, you might find that you have got not much contrast between your hair and your skin. So blusher and bronzer can make a massive difference. So I'm going to now use some Peach Cream blush, which is a beautiful shade for blondes. And I'm using my fingers. And this is where suddenly everything starts to come together when you put your blusher, for me, blusher and lips. So this has got a great formulation. It's a cream that then forms into a soft sort of sheeny powder. So you can place it with your finger. I'm bringing it upwards to lift everything again. I'm going to get my blusher brush now, number 2, and just blend in a slightly circular motion. And now I'm going to go back in with my bronzer and just add a little bit of bronzer. For me, because I'm warm, I can do that over my blusher. If you're very cool, I probably wouldn't put the bronzer over the blusher. I would do it before, and then maybe use a Rosy Glow colour blush or the peach cream. It works really with warm or cool. And now I'm going to go for some a warm colour on my lips, and I've already put my Never Feather lip prime on earlier when I did my foundation, so that dried to stop my sort of bleeding on the lips. I'm going to use a lip liner called Strawberry, and this again, a really lovely soft lip liner. So I outline first and then I fill in. So that is Strawberry, quite strong. So I'm actually going to go for a lipstick which is a bit lighter, but it's nice and warm. It's called Sunset Glow. So it's this colour. In our Lustrous Lips range. I'm using a lip brush to apply this, lip brush number 5. I could have used the Roseberry lip liner, but because Sunset Glow is a little bit lighter, I wanted to give it a little bit of extra depth, and you can do that. You can play around with the lip liners and the lipsticks. So if you wanted a slightly stronger colour from your lighter lipstick, go for a slightly stronger lip liner all over as a base. And then I'm going to use Gorgeous Gloss Lip Shine in Cinnamon Kiss, which I love for a blonde. This is a great colour. Just sort of in the middle of the top and the bottom. And there we have the finished look, sort of a simple look for a warm blonde. I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and if you've got any top tips or any colours that you love to use as a blonde, we would really love to hear your comments in the section below. If you're not sure whether you are warm or cool, as I said, go to the colour quiz on the Look Fabulous Forever website, and hopefully that will help you to decide. So it's really lovely to talk to you today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.